It's live, mate.
Are we live? Good evening. Welcome to Vape Talk UK, episode 95. 95. And this week we're coming straight out of Wee Bonnie, Scotland. Joining us this evening, we have. Welcome to Vape Talk UK. Oh, that'll be me.
Well done. Fucking well done.
That hasn't happened for a while.
Every time, Mark.
What a spud. Joining us this evening, we have Big Tom. Say good evening, Tom.
Evening, guys.
We have Damon.
Good evening, all, and hello.
We have Stuart.
Evening, everyone.
We have Riyadh.
Get the fuck on with it.
And we have Mr. Chris JB. Say hi, Chris.
Sorry, it was a
The Mark Todd wannabe.
Hello, Total Reviews here.
Need more Chris out, Chris. Need more Chris out.
You're going to have to speak up, Chris. Can hardly hear you.
I've turned him up, Damon. Don't worry.
So this week we have an exciting week, but I think we're going to start with what you're vaping. Who should we go with first? Shall we go with Stu, considering he went last week?
Yeah, all right, I'll go first. So I got the Therian 75 and the Nautilus 2 combo that I've been having fun with for the last few weeks. In there this week, I am vaping Vanilla Custard from our white label line. That's really fucking nice. It's a 12 milligram that I've got in there because I'm just using it as like a nick hit device for when I just need some fucking nicotine. But that Vanilla Custard is delicious, and the Nautilus 2, I'm now actually finally on the 1.8 coil. I've finally finished with the 0.7 coil and got back onto the real coil, so that's been superb. Then I've got another Therian that I just bought myself for my birthday. Look at that fucking door.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Gay.
Isn't it gay? Isn't it well gay? I fucking love it though.
Oh, that's why you wanted that drip tip.
Yes, that's why I wanted that drip tip. And I've taken Mark's advice and picked myself up a Skill RDA to go on there as well. So we've got a little Skill on there, and then a little drip tip from Custom Vapes.
A little drip tip.
Well, I know it's getting replaced shortly. Getting replaced very shortly. Our large Thomas from YouTube has hooked me up.
You need a different colour drip tip now on there, not green.
I'm going pink and black. Pink and black. And on there, after Thomas's question last week about death row vaping, like what would you vape for your last ever vape, I got myself some Deja Voodoo from Whitlicker, and I'm still fucking madly in love with it. It's still the best juice I've ever tasted. Cannot top it. So that's my birthday present to myself.
I could top it.
Just a little bit of Whitlicker, just a touch.
I could top that easily.
Okay, Rick.
Anything not Whitlicker.
Okay, Rick. Thank you for your back, Rick. Appreciate your help.
I told you about at the beginning of the show. Don't feed the trolls.
Yeah.
I've been fed enough. I had a chip supper.
You can tell he's been working hard today. He's all tired and grumpy, bless him.
Now he's in Scotland now. He's calling it supper.
Yeah.
I got paint all over me as well. Look.
I look like a painter's decorator's radio, don't you, son?
Do you know what a bra brick nicked sounds like yet, Rick?
What?
Damon,
Carry on.
did you just get possessed for a second there, Damon? Are you all right?
I'm all right.
He's having a stroke. Has anyone got his address and got an ambulance?
Just
Yeah, I think we should send someone round to have a look at him.
Yeah, sorry about that. Go on, carry on.
And then third and finally, and I've got a feeling there might be a common thread approaching here, I've got my Cricket 2 with the new Pandora from Psychosis Incorporated. Are you actually incorporated, or are you just saying that?
I'm limited, but we'll go with corporate. It's actually Psychosis Inc. Limited, which is a bit backwards.
Yeah, that's naughty, isn't it? But look at that fucking beauty. And I've got the Ultim drip tip off the Goon LP clone on there. Looking fucking rather spiff. So
to the good LP then.
it's the best bit of the Goon LP, yeah. And on that, I've got some homebrew, some fucking banana menthol, which is like the simplest homebrew in the world. 3 concentrates, a load of VG, and some nicotine, and it's just superb. Everything that I've ever wanted. And that, I think there's going to be some excitement about that. That's me.
About what? The banana menthol?
The Pandora. Yeah.
What's that?
There's some new RDA that some fat twats released.
I haven't released no audio. Nor's Tom.
I'm glad I didn't
No, someone famous.
No, I haven't released an RDA.
Oh well, fuck knows who made it then.
This is almost like a Weight Watchers meeting.
Yeah, except instead of losing weight, you're losing dignity by the minute.
Wow.
And your soul.
I'm not going to feed the trolls. I kept my mouth shut that time.
So who's next?
Damon.
Hello. What am I vaping on? I'm vaping on the Gaia RDTA.
Looks like it's not fuck all.
It's fucking awesome. No, I'm vaping on the Pandora, and I haven't.
How are you vaping on that if it's not connected to a mod?
I know, yeah. It's a wireless vaping, Rick.
All these mods washed away in the flood. Can we just not bully you? He's only got one.
You're not into wireless vaping yet, Rick. It's the future. I'll give you the tips. Anyway, yeah, I'm vaping on the Pandora. I haven't really put this down since Sunday, and I'm enjoying it a lot. But I guess we're going to go deeper into that in a little while. And I'm vaping some caramel tobacco in there at the moment from Get Vape.
Nice, fine choice, Damon.
It's actually pretty good. I'm looking forward to trying the rest of them out now. I've got.
You sound surprised, Damon. I fucking love a caramel tobacco.
Yeah, I know, but I've not tried Get Vape before. Have you tried them?
Yeah, they sent me a discount code. I just thought I'd give it a go, and they had like a honeydew watermelon bubble tea. It was like a milk watermelon. Oh, it was lovely. No, honeydew watermelon is not a real thing. Honeydew melon bubble tea.
Honeydew melon, unless it's a hybrid. Maybe it's a hybrid. I don't know. We could talk about melons all night, though, couldn't we?
It's easy to get deep on the subject of melons, isn't it?
All right, but they do like a vanilla donut and ice cream scoops. Probably got no cooling agent in it. That'll do my head in. Scones with ice cream and a few other things as well. And they make a big thing about doing 24-hour delivery, and they seem to be able to uphold that. So kudos to them. Yeah, I'm vaping Boston from Hodges Homebrew. Bloody top juice it is as well in the Gaia. Should have got fed up of Get Vape's line. Which I'm going to sample throughout the rest of the evening. In what's that new atty called again?
That Pandora. It means golden cream, doesn't it?
The panny, yeah, the panny, as it should.
Yeah.
Don't, because when we went to name that, one of the main things we discussed was if people refer it to the panny, we'll get annoyed. And then lo and behold, look at
hashtag panny. Hashtag panny.
Or maybe the panda. Maybe that's a little bit more acceptable.
Yeah, the panda.
What about pandy?
Pandy, the pando, maybe.
Pandarino.
Anyway, yeah, it's not shit, which is good news for Chris. It's not shit.
Well done, Chris. You made something that's not shit.
So that's what I'm vaping on tonight. Anyway, thanks, Chris. Over to the rest of you. Mark, who's next?
You've made something that Damon approves of, so congratulations on that one.
Yeah, I think I've changed it
in the industry. But to be honest, you've just fed the troll so much more by calling it the pandy or panny.
Pandy's good. Oh, I like pandy.
Pandy.
I've been calling it the Dora.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I think that's even worse.
And there's a shop called Vape Explorer. Maybe they'd stock it.
Won't get into why Stu watches children's TV. What was it last week you admitted you watched? RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, mate, don't fucking start with RuPaul's Drag Race.
You made him watch.
That shit is
watches.
No, specifically season 3, episode 4 at 1 minute 25 seconds is what he fucking said.
He's either Rain Man or he really, really, really rewatched that part. It might be like when you're...
He's Rain Man.
You know, when you're a kid and you're watching a VHS and boobs come up and you quickly rewind it and try and pause it right at the right second. Why is that? So he doesn't have to keep rewinding it.
I don't actually remember that, Chris, no.
my friend, what have you got in your hand this evening?
Who are we talking to? What?
Thomas.
Oh, me.
Thomas.
Tonight I've got the gold Minikin, shining like a fucker.
Shiny.
Okay.
With Slumman 24 with a custom tip in there, and I've also got a green Minikin with the Pandora and a custom tip from Signature Tips. Thank you, Signature Tips, for making that for me on Saturday. And I'm also going to confess, I've been running the same build in these two RDAs, and straight wire is the way forward.
Chaos.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Rick wins. Now that's going to change everything forever.
And I'm also vaping on the Jam Vape Co. And this is marmalade on toast, and it's absolutely fucking.
I'm really looking forward to it. I've got some of that coming. I'm really looking forward to trying that.
That sounds delicious.
Does it taste of burnt toast?
No, it tastes like the fruitiest fucking marmalade you've ever had, with a slight bit of toast on the end.
Orange fruit.
Yes.
I got given some marmalade on toast out of what I can only describe as a green ice cream van at either Expo or Vape Jam last year. And I vaped that after it being in the cupboard for about 9-10 months. And it's actually all right. I don't know who makes it.
A green ice cream van.
It was like a green ice cream van.
Decadent Vapors, that is, I believe.
Oh, Decadent Van Vapors or menthol?
Well, apparently they do marmalade and toast. It's called something breakfast. It might be just called breakfast. I can't remember. It's quite nice though.
So that's me.
Nice silence there.
Yeah, I might stop
People,
talking.
that's fucking difficult.
Rick, what you got?
It's probably not best to go to me at the moment. And are you picking me up all right? Because my phone's decided to download every single update possible. So
Well, stop them, technophobe.
Rick, you're fine, mate. You're coming through fine.
oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Because you're not. Funny enough. I have got the SOI with a goon on top today. I'll put the goon on top. Oh, where are we? Where are we? There we are. There we are. With the panny drip tip on it.
He's told them I'm not drip to use on a goo.
And that's it.
Panny drip
That's all I
tip.
got. That's all I got.
You got any juice on that, Rick?
No,
Just vaping cotton. Fuck it.
take the same crap, the Hellfire.
They say the
Juice.
Scots are tight.
That's it. That's all I got. Got nothing else.
Reasonable.
I did have an RDA. Did have an RDA delivered this week. Got chucked in the bin.
Mate, there's
Not
no
really,
good
no.
RDAs coming out at the moment, is there?
Minikin B2 was surprise, the Pandora with a custom tip made by Bessie Goldsmith, probably the best tip maker out there.
Probably.
One of them, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
And I must say, I do you know what? I vaped this. The first day I got it, I vaped it consistently. The second day, I went back over to the Tro RTA because I was out and it wasn't convenient. And then today in the shop, I've been using this, and it's well. What more can you say? It's fantastic. I think we're all under the impression it's fantastic. Probably mainly because we all got sent one for free. But yeah, no, it's actually really good. It is actually really good. I'm not joking.
JB, what you running?
I am running the billet box with some
Fucking nice billet.
This is my all day everyday vape. I ended up getting a bit more of a nicotine dependency back up, so it's got some 45 milligram in there. Nick salt, not just 45 milligram Nick, but a lovely button and tip from Bessie.
They use different milligrams in America, though, don't they? Because that'd blow your fucking dick off, wouldn't it?
Well, it's Nick salt, so synthetic nicotine. It's like vaping a 6 milligram, but you don't need to vape it as much.
Chris, how do you find the flavour of the Nick Salts?
To be honest, this one is the best I've had. I can't remember what it was. I got some other little closed system, and that was really good. but it leaked on me. I kept getting like mouthfuls of it, so it wasn't great. But this stuff's called Fill My Pod. I think it's obviously designed to refill closed systems, but it's actually really good. I'll just use it. It's more convenient for me. Like, it's just because in the house we've got the kids in there, so it's just a lot easier to have a quick puff on that. But I'm also vaping the Pandora, obviously. To be honest, I think I'm more proud of this drip tip than I am the Pandora.
Did you?
I would be as well.
I would be as well. Something for free on review.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with it.
You're fucking handing a lot of them out, aren't they? Apparently to anyone as well.
Well, they haven't been particularly selective with you, arseholes, have they? I've also got another Pandora. Oh, wait, no, I've got juice in that as well. I'm vaping 830 at home, though, which is fucking amazing. And it just wakes up really well in the Pandora. It's got like a... I don't know, I'm tasting more fruits in it than I initially thought there was in it.
I love the 6 a.m. by the 6 a.m. at home though, but I wasn't overly keen. I mean, it's vapeable, but I wasn't overly keen on the 830. But the 6 a.m. was lovely.
I love both the 6 a.m. and 830. I mean, the others, Rottle was good. The other two, they were nice, but they weren't my thing. But this 830 is just the one. It's so nice. And then I've actually got a brushed stainless, which no one else has. Pandora.
Well, you did fucking make them, mate. Not being funny.
This is true. And I've got Blue Raz in there by Thick Oil. And yeah, that's me. That's it, really.
How did I end up with number 105, by the way?
Well, I thought I'll give the people I like numbers 1 to 20, and anyone above that. No, I'm joking. They because we did the run to 500 and then we had 250 made gunmetal. It was kind of like pot luck whether stainless gunmetal will be number 1, and turns out the gunmetal's going to have number 1. So
I've got 0, 0, 0, 0, and number 5.
Come on, everybody get your numbers out. I want to see what numbers you got.
I've got 47 and 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, it might be unnumbered this one.
Mine's 188.
Yes, never number than Stuart. That's all that matters.
Mine doesn't even have a number.
That is literally all that matters, isn't it? Really, as long as you're better than me, Rick.
What number were you, Stu?
188.
What number are you, Tom?
Numbers don't fucking mean a thing. They all vape the fucking same, you wallet.
I think that means 280.
Mine's 007.
I couldn't give a shit if I got 20,000. It vapes the same. The numbers are
Mine's 87.
I would really care if it got 20,000. It would mean that the manufacturers couldn't count to 500.
In the chat, we've got a question already. When's the gunmetal Pandora hitting the UK? Do you want to field that one now, Chris, or do you want to wait?
We'll go for it. They got shipped today. And if the last shipment was anything to go by, then they will be here, fingers crossed, Friday. So that's that. Yeah, they got shipped today. There was the only reason they were actually delayed is that the gunmetal was being done the next day, and I was being fussy, and then I asked for something extra.
You were being fussy?
Well, yeah, because I wanted them now. So I had the option of either waiting to the next day and having them both shipped together, but then I wanted something extra done, which may or may not be a prototype of something else. And he said it would be like a delay. It'd be like a week's delay. So I said, we'll ship the stainless now and then ship the gunmetal once the other thing's ready to be shipped. So there was a bit of a delay in it, but it's coming.
Another question from chat already. What's the price on a panny?
I'm not sure what a penny is.
It's the Dora, isn't it?
Well, the Dora's 50 quid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Panny.
I'm not sure, mate. The Fedora, I think it looks like a hat in it. I think they vary in price depending on the maker. But yeah, no, they're 50 quid. They're available at vapeskew.co.uk.
Vape squeeze.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Never heard of it.
I think it's just called Squee, isn't it? It's available. Wait.
I've heard of vape squee, yeah. Not vape-esque.
Yeah, just let nobody know where your reseller fucking sells it. Just let them know that.
Which comes
Can't hear Tom at all.
Am I right in thinking, Chris, that it is going to be more widely available eventually? Is that right?
It's already available in the States, and it's going to be available in other places other than Vape-esque, yeah. But and there are reasons.
Mark likes
I don't know whether I should
the first stop.
pretty much. For the first shipment. I mean, Mark's obviously. I'm friends with Mark, so yeah. I didn't just create the Pandora and then think, right.
Not what you told me.
Shut it. I didn't just create the Pandora and think, right, fuck what anyone else thinks, we're going with it. There was actually a lot of consultation with a lot of other people, and Mark was privy to the original blueprints, so to speak. And yeah, I think he was supporting it from before it was we even decided to go fully ahead and actually get it done. So yeah, he sort of snuck in there a little bit.
I think the best outcome of this show, like, is if all our viewers end up buying a Pandora, you would have sold 5 more.
It doesn't say how many people we're live to, but I mean, I'm happy with 4.
We know,
70 viewers
we know the 3 people watching will buy 1 each.
Yeah, that's cool. I never set out to sell millions. 3 I'm happy with. Mark might not be happy with 3, but I am. I mean, I've done my job. I sold them to Mark.
Yeah. Cool. Right, which brings it to me. I'm using my Osmodus Omnium, or however you want to pronounce it, and sat on the top of this, I've been using all week, is the Aspire. I'll just call it the Aspire.
Yeah, the Aspire Nautilus 2.
The Nautilus 2.
Ain't it nice?
And I have gone old school. I am on
That's Heisenberg, isn't it, you dirty cunt?
Heisenberg.
Oh, you filthy tramp.
Honestly, I am. Yeah, it takes me back to the good old days.
You know what? In Dark Ages.
I keep thinking with the little circle on it. You need to push it to squat.
Excuse me. Honestly, I've not been a mouth to longer for many, many, many years, but I love it. What the hell? I've gone back to now.
Incredible, isn't it?
It is pretty good mouth to lung now and again, isn't it?
There you go. Paul Harrison is on the same setup. Naughty.
It works. Very, very rarely.
Heisenberg scrubbers.
You don't really crave a cigarette as much with mouth to lung, I don't think. You know, if you ever do go through times of craving, if you're particularly stressed out and you just want one for whatever reason, then mouth to lung and a high neck is a better setup than cloud chasing all day.
If you want one for any reason, just have a smoker breathe in your face. That will stop you wanting one. I'll tell you that much.
And in my other hand, I have, believe it or not, I've gone for a vanilla Pandora. Original tip. No messing around on these fancy tips for me. And I'm actually a little bit disappointed with myself. And I shared this with Stu the other day. I bought myself a Minikin.
Yeah, you did.
What's wrong with that?
Honestly,
You fucking tried.
unlocking.
There's nothing wrong with the unlocking.
It's you.
Really?
You, man.
Stop doing it off camera, Damon. You know that took you about 4 passes.
Right, no, that was 1 pass. Watch. Just watch. Right, go on. Lock the camera on me.
Like a cat trying to grab your balls. Just a slow swipe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Locked.
I can imagine that the tip of Damon's finger covers more surface area than the tip of Mark's, though. So
Mark looks like he's discovering the clitoris for the first time.
That's where I'm going wrong.
That's how you do it, Mark. That's how you do it.
Oh, I'm stroking it, but it won't work. She still won't let me in.
Oh my God, that was sexy image. Do it again.
Slowly put your finger down the length of the screen.
He's
He's in. She let him in.
patience is a virtue, my friend.
Right, I can turn it up past 12 watts then. No, and obviously the Pandora, and I've obviously been using the Pandora for quite a while. I did lose it for a few weeks, but it has come back to my possession. And I've got to say, I know Chris and I had the conversation about whether too much modification needed to be made to it, and I was dead against any modifications to the airflow. But Chris,
Everyone, this is the prototype he's talking about.
yeah, I'm talking about the prototype. Chris, you're right, it's much better, much better than the original prototype.
Who's echoing?
Rick, it's Riyadh.
Refresh, Rick.
Wait, let me back.
Oh, he's genuinely not refreshing.
I'm surprised you didn't just go for the Kadama version of the Minikin, Mark. What's going on?
It's just a bit too big.
It is slightly bigger, isn't it?
I do have a pair of Kadamas, brothers and sisters, but
Hang on. We're echoing.
Rick, you're gonna have to mute yourself when you're not talking. Yeah, do that, bud. That was horrible.
Rick muted. What has become of the show?
What new hell is this? He's gone. That's it. It's over.
But yeah, the wooden one's a bit too big.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I love my Kadamas. I really love my Kadamas. I've got nothing bad to say about them, apart from the fact they're just a little bit too big in the hand. When we got stock in the shop,
I think you just say that. That's a statement. Because look at the size of them mitts.
Yeah, that does look very small compared to my hands.
Jesus, it's like when you see a fucking spider eating a fly, isn't it?
Whoa. What's a bit disturbing about that? Yeah.
You know, you leave a conversation, you come back like a minute later. It's just not right.
Yeah,
Haven't missed much.
no, I don't think so.
You were vaping on the Kadama and the Pandora.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was saying that we got them in the other day. We restocked, and I'd put a pink one on the order for some reason. And literally, as soon as it came in the door, my missus stole it. And she's been using it all week, and I've had a few plays with it. It was like, you know what? They're not that bad. I actually don't mind it, as much as it pains me to say, because I slagged it off like fucking previous shows. But no, I'll give us notice their due. Short term, it's been good to me. We'll see. So, Chris. Has Chris gone to sleep?
We're done, Chris.
We went into a bit of slow motion then. Everyone sort of froze down like it was some sort of Matrix quadrilogy.
It was the mannequin challenge.
Don't get your phones out. That'll be something that...
I have got some very good news on the horizon, though. We got the keys to the shop today, so we've been painting today, obviously. As you can tell. And we also got the keys to our flat. So next week we will have super fast fibre that I'll be able to...
So you'll no longer be squatting?
Chat with.
You'll no longer be...
So that's all good news. I can't even know what you're saying. What's he saying? All I hear is...
What he said was, oh, that's all good news, Rick. It'll be a pleasure to have you back on the show as normal.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
I'm looking forward to it, actually, to be fair.
So am I.
I just want to see Riyadh happy, you know.
I am happy. It's going to be a busy week or so, though.
I'm glad you're happy, Rick.
The flat's completely empty, so it needs recarpeting and like that. And
Oh, he's gone robot.
Yeah, Rick, you're going to need to refresh, mate. It's not good. Yeah, refresh like that. That's the best form of refreshment.
Fuck off, Baldy.
He's back.
So, as you may have noticed, this week we are all clutching a Pandora.
Annie.
Yeah.
We're all clutching a Dora of some sort, whether it's a Panny or a Dora or whatever. Obviously, we've got Chris in this week who has joined us. Chris, very quickly. Obviously, we know who you are. You've been on the you've been on the show before, Chris.
I think I briefly popped in, said something rude, and then disappeared again.
I fucked off.
Pretty much.
Sounds like most Tuesdays, to be fair.
Yeah, let's not go to that show either.
Oh yeah, that's so cool, wasn't it?
Chris, do you just want to give us a quick explanation as to your reasoning behind the Pandora and why you went with the design you did?
It was quite a long process, really. I think it'd been about 6 to 8 months in the making, and it was more just mucking about with the idea of using 3D design software. Really, I was designing crap to 3D print, and yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun idea to muck about with. So I was mucking about with a few ideas, and I didn't really have anything solid, and I had some sort of principles behind the idea. And then a friend of mine out in the States, we were talking one day, and he says, "Oh, I've got this idea for an RDA." I says, "Yeah, actually, I've been toying with an idea of an RDA as well." Sort of discussed it, and we both pretty much had exactly the same idea, and that was what became the Pandora. I mean, it was a pain to design because I had sort of limited knowledge of the software. So there's a guy called Mike Welsh who owns Plastic Box Mods, and he completely designed it and 3D prints them himself. So he painstakingly taught me how to use the software. And I mean, I'm not the best person to have a conversation with, let alone to be teaching, as you can imagine. So for him, it was a lot of effort on his part, and I really, really owe a lot to him for that. But yeah, he taught me how to use the software. So me and my friend out in the States, we sort of sat there and discussed ideas on Hangouts, and before we knew it, Pandora was born. And yeah, it was the design. We sort of the first thing we sort of come up with was the idea of the fins, because we were convinced that it would condense the vapor into a central point.
Was this the cyclonic fins?
Yeah, the cyclonic fins. Sorry, Damon.
Can I just say for a second, and I'm just going to completely stomp all over my point, but Damon, this is how you conduct an interview. Dolan asked a question, now he's listening to the answer. The interview that you put up with Chris was like a fucking car crash.
Not on my part, which I was really surprised about.
I mean, basically, Chris spent his time talking away for 95% of the time. That kind of worked for me.
The best moment I thought is you asked him about the airflow configurations. He went, well, and then you went, well, I'll tell you what I like. I've got it on this and that was the only bit about the airflow you done. Lovely.
Well, I thought we'd leave plenty of content for tonight's show as well, Rick, you know? But you're eating up into that content now.
One niggle I have got actually with this, and if I get it right, if you do it onto the one airflow, one little bit, it whistles. I can get it.
To be honest, it wasn't actually ever designed to be on the one airflow. It was designed to have 3, but we wanted the option of 2, and the only way to have the option of 2 was to enable the option of 1. So the 1 was just a byproduct of the change, really. But
can you put up a picture of the fins, please? Because somebody I don't see any fins in chat.
There you go. There's some fins.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. To be fair to Damon's credit, at least he queued me up and told me to have pictures ready. None of you warned me about having to show stuff.
You've been on the show to talk about your new RDA, and you didn't bring any pictures of your new RDA, Chris. Is that what you're saying?
No, but I bought the actual RDA, if that helps. But yeah, so anyway.
To be fair, you've got 6 of them.
Well, yeah, that's true. So yeah, you guys are like still life models. But yeah, so we designed the fins. Basically, we based the idea on the fact that it would put a central point and hopefully condense it and give it more of a stronger flavor, because we sort of aimed to meet the apex between flavor chasing and cloud chasing. And personally, I think that we've done what we set out to do, which is what I'm most proud of, because it's an achievement to have it done. It's an achievement for it to be well received. It's an achievement to sell an amount, X amount, whether it's a small amount, large amount, whatever you aim for. But for me, it was more the fact I was so proud of that we'd managed to achieve what we set out to achieve. But yes, the fins were designed to obviously increase the flavour. And then the airflow was sort of for two reasons, really. We wanted to combat the standard leaky bottom airflow.
Hey, Chris, sorry to interrupt. Can you just talk us through the airflow for those of them that haven't seen the airflow?
Yeah, of course. So the way it's designed.
Maybe put a picture up, Chris.
Yeah, how about I'll do that? Let me just cue a picture. I'll carry on.
Picture would be better than showing the RDA at the moment.
All right. So let me find a picture that works, I suppose. Let's move this out of the way. So,
shall we use Badger's photo?
I've got one here. So, if you want to project me so everyone can see it. So, can you see you can't see my mouse on that, can you?
Yeah.
You can?
Oh.
No, yeah, we can see your cursor.
Perfect. So, we obviously standard bottom airflow. It comes in, goes up. It's the simplest way to do it, and it made it a bit of a pain to machine because it was quite ambitious, really. But we had the airflow coming in at the side and essentially created a tunnel underneath the deck, so the air actually comes in at the side and then circulates under the deck and comes up. Now, this is for a couple of reasons. One, because it will help keep the bottom half of the deck cool, which will reduce heat transfer to mech mods and the like. But also it creates a bigger distance for the juice to have to travel down if you wanted it to leak. Now, no one wants it to leak, but I'm notorious for over dripping, and I know a lot of people that are. So a good point that we tried to combat was the fact that when you drip through the drip tip and you fill up the juice well, the wick's already soaked, it's going to pour in. But with the viscosity of a lot of the juices nowadays, 70-30, 80-20, by the time it's even got down the channel and out towards the airflow, you've got the cap on, you're already vaping it, so you essentially suck it back in. And I mean, a few things that we were worried about. We were worried about getting mouthfuls of juice, which we rigorously tested the prototype, and that was avoided. And yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky, really, in the fact that a lot of what we were trying to achieve was done straight away, and there was very, very little changes made from prototype to production run, which I'm proud of. I'm taking as a win.
Definitely. It'd be interesting to know what the rest of the guys think to the design of the RDA.
Well, I messaged Chris straight away as soon as I was building it and told him the first thing I did when I was juicing it was flood it on purpose. That is what I wanted to see, how it would work, because we know for a fact that bottom airflow always, fucking if you overjuice it, pisses fucking juice everywhere. And I purposely got my bottle and I squeezed it like fuck. By the time I'd put cap on and I was vaping it, the juice came to the side of the airflow. I pulled it back in when I was vaping and I didn't have any leaks. So I thought it worked really well with the bottom airflow, with being side airflow as well as not being underneath, directly underneath. So when you drip, it pisses straight out. So I thought it worked really well from experience.
Tom and I had a very, very similar experience, actually, although mine was due to just not concentrating at all and user error. But yeah, I flooded it on the first time I used it. But yeah, it wasn't like loads of juice came pissing out. And that's the last time that I've done so. So yeah, I can say that it's not leaking.
Stu, how do you feel about the design?
I actually said to Chris while we were in this hangout before we started the show, I went out on the record quite quickly and called it a Kennedy killer for a number of reasons, mostly because I think the flavour is straight better than the Kennedy, which is, you know, what everyone likes the Kennedy for. But one of the things with a Kennedy, I like to be able to drip my juice through the drip tip, just, you know, straight lip lip kind of thing. And every time you do it with a Kennedy, guaranteed it will piss all over your fucking mod within seconds. And with this, it's the first RDA I think I've had ever with bottom airflow, to be honest, where I can throw a load of juice in there, and as you can see, it's fine. So
going then, waiting for juice to start leaking out the sides.
Yeah, no, you're all right. You're all right. So yeah, I think flavour-wise, it's an absolute fucking triumph. But for me, it's also the fact that you can actually have that bottom airflow and not have the constant leaking issues. You know, not have like constantly having to mollycoddle it. That's made it a bit of a star for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because it's very, very rare that I go back to a dripper for 48 hours straight, more or less. And to take me off the Gaia at the moment to go to the Pandora is quite some accomplishment. And yeah, the flavour's amazing on it. I also think that airflow design helps the top cap from not getting too hot. I think it helps with heat dissipation too.
You push your drip tip down, please, Damon. It's bugging me.
Thanks for noticing that, Chris. I wouldn't have done. But yeah, I'm just very, very impressed overall with the build quality as well. You know, there's still some misapprehension that China can't produce decent quality build, but I think this, like I said, it's a bit of a shining light of a beacon for Chinese manufacture. It's great. It's very, very well built.
Well, it's like I said in the interview with you, Damon. I think Paul Harrison squashed the misconception, really. When the endless cleans come out and I saw them, I was like, no, China can do it right. And then you had other things that are made out, 666, the Sherman tank by Imperial Vape Co. So the machining on that is incredible. And, you know, it kind of reassures you that when you speak to the right people and you're willing to invest the right money, you get what you pay for. You know, if you're going to pay peanuts, you're going to get crap. And I think that's what the overall issue is with people's conception of China, is that because people are paying peanuts for cheap clones that are mass produced, they get bad quality. And I think that when you're really particular about how you're perceived by the public when you release a product, like I was really apprehensive of what people would think. And for me, it's only the reassurances of people around you that sort of stabilize that fear and make you realize that if you're going to put enough time and effort and love and money into a product, they'll do what you ask them to do. You know, if you just chuck them a bit of cash and say, make this, you don't bother testing it. You don't bother giving it out to people to test. You don't bother going through, you know, QC. You don't bother making sure that any little niggles you have before you go into production are completely sorted.
Well, I mean, the little niggles I have personally come down to really, very, very small things like not being able to get into the box easily, and it having no squonk pin, but not having a squonker right now.
Thank you for yours, Damon.
That seems pretty easy to get into there, Damon.
It is today. I've loosened the gussets.
Yeah, I mean, we did toy around with the idea of putting a ribbon on the bottom of the box, but it kept peeling off the design. And then we toyed with the idea of cutouts, and then that cut off part of the design. And then when we actually got the prototypes in, and they sent a load in, like every different, because they did a lot of caps without decks, just so we could test the finish on it. And every single one came in a box, and every single box was easy to open. And I mean, I think out in the States, the guys that have got them, they've said I think 3 out of 100 were actually pretty hard to get into. Everyone else, every other one just slips off. So, I mean, it was kind of sort of a bit of give and take, really. We kind of had the decision to make whether to let the quality of the packaging suffer by adding ribbons that potentially rip it or damage the design.
I've said it a couple of times anyway. The packaging's just a minor thing. It's nothing. It's no a big deal.
I know one of the big,
You choose those words very carefully, Damon.
It's no big deal.
one of the big things I noticed, obviously from using the prototype, but also using the the official release, is the flavour, and I know it's been picked up on before. Obviously, I'm an Akina whore from Thick Oil, and Akina just is picking out so many different notes. Martin Reeves has just said, I thought the fins were just another Atty gimmick, so I swapped it over for a chubby, just held it there, and yet the fins work awesome. They do make a difference. You know,
yeah, I agree with that.
as gimmicky as it might sound, and I was with Martin when we did do the test, and you can taste the difference with the fins. I'm picking out so many different notes in juices now, flavours that I've never tasted before in my favourite juices that I've vaped for a long time.
Yeah, it makes the chocolate in this Boston's really stand out a lot more, for example, than in other RDAs I've used recently, a lot more. The low notes as well as the high notes of the donut. It's interesting.
So the idea sent over to me in Facebook Messenger by a James Story. I might look at this. He said, what about putting a magnet at the bottom of the box so you can use any metal object to pull it out? So,
Don't get hung up on the box, Chris. We're talking about the RDA. The box is like, don't worry about it.
no, I just want to credit it in case I steal that idea. You can see here live. I've credited him with that idea.
It is a good idea.
It is.
Rick, what are your thoughts?
I went out there straight away as soon as I got it. I got on it, built on it, and I do genuinely think it's better than the Kennedy. However, I do have a couple of not issues, but a couple of things
Rick, just out of interest, did you have to clean yours?
broadcasting.
No, you completely frozen, mate. Refresh.
I've got him fine. He's echoing again now, though.
I'll get it off.
If you actually use your drip tip
Bush.
to the side, you can pull it off.
No, a drip tip comes out.
Typical.
The
Yeah.
tolerances are brilliant, but that does make way so you can put a chubby in there. So, you know, I like it, but I it's not for me. I mean, but how easy is it to manufacture cyclonic fins with one solid piece? I don't know. Airflow fully open. Now I need to test this because I've only had one build in this. I'm going to put another build in tomorrow, and I'm actually going to raise the coils away from the airflow because you get some sort of whirly effect when it.
Just out of interest, how high are your coils above your airflow?
You're talking 2-3 mil.
It is rather noisy. That's the other negative that I have.
As soon as you turn it to the 3, there's my camera. The 3, then it eliminates that whirliness. But that's a minor critique, you know.
Yeah, I will say, I've had a bit of turbulence through the airflow as well. And it doesn't normally bother me, but it does bother some people.
Hang on, Rick. Can you mute yourself, please? Because you're getting feedback massively.
Cheers, Rick. And yeah, I found it on the 3 holes. That's the best way to clear that turbulence. But it's always going to be one of those things. Turbulence. It doesn't even bother some people. It doesn't even register to them. So it's only people that are specifically niggled by it that are going to find a problem there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the quietest RDA in the world, but it's no. What was that RDA? The turbine or whatever it was called?
No, it's no way. Turbo, Rick's favourite, the Turbo. It's nothing like that, but this is an Atty to huff on. I mean, it's a huffer, isn't it? Let's be honest, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like the noise off it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much a whistle. It's more of like it's a dull, steady intake noise. But I mean, it's just a byproduct of how it's designed, really. I don't know how I could combat that in any way.
Well, I'm going to try lifting the coils on my next build, just lifting them probably about 5 mil above or something, just to see how that feels.
Mine are at about 4 or 5 mils above, and I haven't really found it to be so turbulent.
You see, mine are quite high as well, and I've not.
Yeah, mine are pretty high, and I'm not getting it either. But
yeah, they're really high compared to mine.
I always intuitively build quite low on a bottom airflow deck, and I've actually built this one quite high as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I am getting the turbulence.
See, I have had it. I mean, I stuck 6 mil coils in it, and you know the clearance wasn't enough for me to raise the coils too much, so it was turbulent. But it wasn't. I mean, personally, I didn't feel it was unmanageably loud. You know, it wasn't going to do my head in that much, so I wasn't going to use it. So that was a bonus for me, really. Yeah.
Has anyone found their airflow barrel really hard to pull off?
Yeah, from time to time, but I've found that as it lubes up, it's not as bad as it was. But again, that's a minor niggle. But yeah, the barrel can be a little bit tight when you first open it, definitely.
When you go in dry, Thomas, that's the kind of a problem.
This is definitely not fucking dry. No, I'm going to be deadly honest, and I'm going to...
There, it came off pretty easy there.
Hit my hat to Chris and say congratulations on the RDA. I think it's a brilliant RDA. As I've discussed with Chris before, I think there's inspirations of other RDAs on there. You've just fiddled it around, you've done your own style with it, and it fucking works really well. So,
yeah.
Chris, have you got a gunmetal one there we can see?
I don't, but I have a picture of a gunmetal, if that helps. Because 666 mods, they make the Norris. They have theirs manufactured in the same place, and they went for a gunmetal, so I know what the finish is like. So when we had the prototypes made, I didn't bother getting a gunmetal done because I had the option of, you know, he said, "Come on, give me 5 finishes you want to try out, and we'll see what we can do." So I went for like gold, black, brass, brushed stainless, and mirror stainless. And yeah, I just didn't bother going with gunmetal because I knew the quality of the gunmetal. I used Norris a lot, so I knew how well the coating stood up. And yeah, so I didn't bother getting it done. But when they were done, they sent me a picture. So I will just get this up now. Sometime, just talk amongst yourselves.
No, I don't think we will.
No. Yeah, just leave it with silence.
We tried this trick last week. It's much more fun when you don't talk amongst yourselves.
Slightly more awkward, though.
A lot more awkward. That's what makes it fun.
Well, yeah, I'll give it that much. All right, there we go. Yeah, everything was off to the centre then, so I couldn't find it. You're literally not talking. I'm joking.
Actually, I could probably feel this then. I'm going to have to pop off in a minute because I need to get a shower and stuff like that. But I want to say a huge congratulations to Chris. It is a fantastic RDA. Definitely room for improvement for a V2. That was a joke, by the way. But I do love it. I think it's brilliant, and it is by far my favourite RDA to date that I've owned.
Wow, well, that is a bold statement. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a gun, by the way.
That's the gunmetal one.
Yeah.
Well, say that again. Did you say it was by far your most favourite RDA you've owned?
My most favourite RDA that I've ever owned. Yeah.
Right.
It's my second most favourite that I've ever owned, but it's close. It's very close. Huh?
What's your first?
First, EM V2S with the Slam 24, mate.
What's your third?
The Tactical Warhead from Continuous Current.
I hated that.
Yeah.
I fucking adore it. There we go.
This
JB's caught up.
But and again, this is all about hashtag Panny. So
Yeah, that's the gunmetal anyway. I mean, I just love it. I mean, I don't know what it is about the gunmetal. It's the fact that it's not quite black, but it's not statement.
I'm actually gonna pick one of those up specifically for the purpose of going on that.
Yeah, that looked pretty sweet.
I think it'll do it.
I mean, it's got a pretty gunmetal-y colour that has, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's kind of two-tone. It's got like a black that actually really sort of takes the light in, and then on this framing here around the carbon fibre, it's more of a gunmetal.
Yeah.
So I think it'll work.
I mean, it's just incredibly humbling to hear everyone's feedback, because I know, and I've said this before, but I think a lot of you would have loved for it to have been crap. And I think...
I would have. I definitely would have.
I know you would have.
No bullshit aside, I mean, I am prone to being a bit of a dickhead. I probably would have pissed myself if it was shit. But at the same time, I'm so fucking happy for you that it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean...
The thing is, I knew it was good because I met up with Chris when I first come up to Scotland a couple of weeks ago. I met up with Chris and he brought Pandora with him. And we had a bash on that. He actually whipped it up in KFC. Not that we went there to eat.
And it didn't taste like chicken fingers either.
It tasted rather delicious.
Yeah, and also the gunmetal actually comes in a different box. Well, same box, different box.
What, one that you can open?
It comes in a black version with white.
You can open then.
Oh, you can open it. I mean, it's easy enough to open when there's something in it. So just don't ever take the RDA out of the box.
To be completely honest, I was sat there for like 5 minutes, just going. Let's just start shaking. I was like, "Fuck it, let's get it out."
Yeah, I mean, they're deceptively easy to open when there's something in there, because when you lift them up and obviously the RDA just falls out, and you're like, "Oh, that's all right." And then when you actually take it out,
and the fact that it's not is actually quite ironic, because it's called the Pandora, and that's obviously the box that it comes in. So the Pandora's box is, it's not supposed to be easy to open, is it?
That's it. It's a puzzle box. It's a mystery of how you open it.
I know you covered this in your
box. That would have been epic.
I know you covered this in your interview with Damon, but do you want to tell us the inspiration behind the box, Chris? Because I know you're dying to get it out.
I had my drip tip spiked at Expo by Craig Miller, arsehole. And he spiked it with this chili extract, and it was like something like 14 million Scoville units, which is like, I think the Carolina Reaper's 2 million. So it was insanely hot. And I was like, I need to get some of that so I can spike other people's drip tips. And yeah, he gave me this link and I bought it and it was good. And he was like, oh, I found one that's hotter. Like, come on, he sent me this link for this. I'll try and find a picture of it. Yeah, and so he sent me this link to this other one, and I bought it, and it came in like a wooden box, and it was like, it had a lid that you pulled up, and it had like symmetrical engraving on it. It looked so nice. So when I actually went to get it done, I spoke to them about doing wooden engraved boxes for the Pandora. Not the same design, but pretty similar to what it is now, but in wood. So have all this stuff like burnt into the wood. And they just flat out said, if you want it, it's going to cost you something like stupid, like $17 a box. And I thought it was ridiculous. Well, a ridiculous price for a start, but it was more the fact that I didn't want to have to charge any more because of the packaging. So I did the exact same design, but in paper or card. And I mean, I think, I can't remember who said it. One of you said it. I think it might have been Damon. It looks quite flimsy in pictures. And I think I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm really happy with the quality of the box. Which, again, I know we shouldn't really be focusing on because it's not so much about the box, but
hey,
yeah.
Listen, mate, I've seen entire threads on Mech Addiction of people ranting about the Kennedy not coming in a box. You fucking talk about your box for as long as you like, mate, all right?
Before you do, though, I have got to shoot. So Thank you very much.
Thanks, Riyadh. I'll see you Sunday, mate.
Right, mate.
These fannies can finish it, and then I'll be back next week, proper in your faces.
What are you going to fucking do about it, eh?
See you Sunday, Bell End.
See you, lover.
What's going on Sunday?
I'm coming on Rick.
There you go. I found the box that inspired the Pandora. The boys inspired the box. 3 and 2. So yeah, this is the ultra mega hot burn your face off. Well, it's called Psycho Slayer, so you'd expect it to be hot. 9 million Scoville units.
9 million.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's so nice. That's what I wanted the Pandora box to look like. Probably more like the one on the right, which the top just sort of fits in puzzle piece sort of style. But yeah, I mean, I just loved it. I fell in love with that box the second I bought it. And to be honest, if that box came empty for the 40 odd quid I paid for the chili extract, I would have been happy. I just loved it.
Just getting away from the packaging for a moment, Chris. Sorry, but we've got a question from chat. Keith Wilson is asking if there's a squonk pin in the pipeline, Chris.
Possibly.
Just tell them, Chris. It's fucking completely understandable.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
We worked on a squonking pin to start with. The positive pin plate that sits inside the insulator was a bit unstable once it was drilled out for a squonk pin. So with the fact it was 25 mil, we thought, not many people want it to squonk. We kind of poo-pooed the idea. And then genius engineer Bessie Goldsmith, who I've recently found out is actually called Sean. I'm thinking that's right. He's shown a real passion for it, and as an engineer, you know, engineers do. They see something they want to fix, and they find a solution to it. So I've been discussing it with him, and we think we found a way to make it squonk. I've been speaking to the engineers at the manufacturers, and there is every possibility that the Pandora will squonk.
It's in God's hands.
Yes. I mean, as I said, I put a lot of time and effort into this project, and I wouldn't want it to come, and even if 5 out of 5,000 were unstable posts or didn't sit right the way they were drawn, I wouldn't be happy. So for me, it's going to have to be tested before we go ahead and do it. But
I mean, at present, it's a defiantly old school RDA that cherry picks, like Tom said, it cherry picks the best bits and bobs from a few different RDAs and comes up with something new.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have that luxury there, wouldn't it? And I think that it's just a shame it's hit right now, just as Squonking's going mainstream in vaping, in our circles anyway. Squonking's going mainstream, and it doesn't yet work with it, but it's great news that that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that. I mean, the main reason that we went ahead and got it done is because we were so proud of the prototype and the fact that it achieved what we wanted it to achieve. We wanted to share it with people, and people want her to squonk, so we will try our best to make her squonk. That's the be all and end all, really. I can't. If it won't work, it won't work. If it will work, I'll make it happen. And
I think it's just having that option out there for people that do want to make it squonk.
Paul Harrison says he can get a squonk pin knocked up. Ha ha. There you go.
Well, if I'm honest,
maybe a collaboration on the horizon, eh?
I've got no reason why I wouldn't do it with Paul. Paul's a top man. I've actually got
breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I've actually got a video of a fully functioning squonked Pandora. It's a very bad quality video, but it has been made to work. But the way it was done, it was very, very painstakingly done, drilled out from scratch with by hand in the UK. Now, I'm not going to go into details because I don't want anyone to be influxed by a load of people saying make buying squonk, but I've seen it done. But yeah, so I've seen it done. So I've got no reason to believe that I can't make it happen. But I don't want people to be let down by me saying it's definitely happening, and then we find that 2 out of 3 posts are wonky or don't sit right because of the change. So yeah, I don't want to make any promises, but it looks promising.
There was something someone mentioned earlier on, Chris, that I don't know if anyone else got this. I personally didn't. Their RDA came covered in machining oil.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I did go through and check every 100. There's every possibility that one was missed, and I can only apologise for that. And I'll be completely honest. Either sometime in the packaging process or sometime in the production process, we've had one of the 510 pins not in there. And that's, I don't like to admit it, but I'm not going to lie to anyone. So,
with everything, there's going to be issues, isn't there, Chris?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, they're only human. And at first, I got really angry about it because it's a big fuck up to send out an RDA without a 510 pin. But at the same time, they're only human as well. And I mean, people sort of think of China and they just think of thousands of people just doing it, and it doesn't matter. But I think the manufacturers were genuinely upset with the fact that it had happened because they're proud of what they do. And so when I brought it up and I said I don't want to sound like an arsehole, but every single one needs triple the QC the last lot had. And that was because one pin was missing. So, I will make sure that they know that one came with machine oil on it and I'm not happy about it. And, I can only apologise to whoever it was that received the one with the machine oil on it. And
I've had it in the past where I've had stuff absolutely swamped in machine oil. I'm not going to name and shame. But yeah, it does kind of put you on the back foot straight away. It's a QC issue.
Even the supposedly best of the best come with machine oil and stuff like that. So it's just an honest.
I'm talking about the best of the best. Something came covered in, a whole batch came covered in machine oil.
Yes, and stink.
At the end of the day, you make a large number of anything, and 1 or 2 will slip through the net. There'll be a little mistake on them. If you had 500 shits, fucking one of them would be a bad one, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. And John was making a bigger deal of this in chat than probably.
No, nobody's got a fair comment. It's something that he's not happy about, and it's something that he wanted to air. So,
absolutely. And if someone doesn't point out a problem, I can't do anything about it. So, I welcome all comments, good or bad, because I can only move and develop a product based on feedback. And if I don't get any feedback, or I can't change anything. Like for instance, I actually asked them not to put the Allen keys in the boxes because I was worried that the Allen keys might scratch the finish. And when they sent them out, they actually forgot to put the Allen keys in full stop. But because I wanted to make sure that people got what they paid for, me and Mark sourced Allen keys and got them delivered before the Pandoras even arrived with Mark. Because we don't want a substandard product to be put out there. I don't want Mark to be selling a substandard product and then be told, why are you selling that crap? It's come with no Allen. But we
touching on that.
Sorry?
Touching on that, bro, I think that's a perfect example where the fact is that we should talk about the grub screws incident, especially I've had that incident and you fixed it straight away. So I tell chat, I received my Pandora and one of the grub screws was short, wouldn't track wire or anything like that. Message Chris away. Chris has seen that and changed the grub screws instantly. So I think you've done a great job doing that straight away. So if you don't get the feedback, whether it's positive or negative, you're not going to be able to change it. So people, if they wanted to give you sort of good feedback, negative feedback, it's going to change the product to make it the best it can be. So it's got to be done.
Yeah, and I mean, with things like vaping products, it's a permanent fix. Do you know what I mean? Because if you buy a drink and you don't like it, the next day you don't go and buy the same drink. It doesn't matter. But when it comes to vaping products, you invest, a significant amount of money in it. I want you to get the best experience I can possibly give you from that product. Now, for me, there will be problems with anything. You buy a car and the next day something goes wrong with it, and it costs substantially more than the Pandora. But it doesn't mean to me that the Pandora is any less of an issue. If there's any problem, I will replace, I will repair, I will do whatever I can to help you out. And I want to stress that, to me, it's not, as I said, it's not like a drink. If you buy a drink and you don't like it, you don't buy one the next day. When you spend 50 quid on a Pandora, I don't expect you to go and buy another one. So, of course, you're not going to buy two, but I want you to enjoy or get the best possible experience out of the one you have bought. And I'll do whatever I can to make that happen.
Okay, so all right, we've all provided fairly positive reviews tonight with a few minor niggles. John's got one that he's not happy with in chat. So is it all right if we just ask him as a matter of balance what he doesn't like about it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, I welcome it. It's the thing.
He's saying he gets it, but it seems like all of the feedback being given has been not what I've experienced myself, which can happen in vaping, can't it? Let's be honest.
It does appear that John's getting a lot of shit in the chat, and John is entitled to his opinion. If he doesn't like something, maybe he wants to try another build. That's entirely up to him.
Absolutely, and I mean,
I think it's unfair that perhaps some people are giving him a hard time. Yeah, it is his opinion, and he's perfectly entitled to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally, I'd like people in the chat to not have a go at him, because it's subjective. There's juices that I like that you will hate, and there's juices that you like that I'll hate. And I respect John because he's come out against, potentially a pack of wolves to say that he's one in however many in chat that doesn't like it. And it takes a lot of balls to do that. It takes a lot of balls to stand up and say that this is what I think, and I'm sticking by it. And I completely agree. If you don't like it, then you're entitled to that opinion.
There you go. It's been offered from James Clark. Bring it into the shop and he'll do a build for you, mate.
Nice one.
If we can move off of this point a little bit, just because there is one more question that I think is quite important that's come up in chat. And we are 14 minutes from ending, and I do also want to mention what's happening next week. Jono, our mate Jono Clark, is asking, are there plans to release it in different sizes, Chris? And I think obviously for mech users especially, that could be very relevant, with 24mm being the most common size for mechs and it being a 25.
To be honest, 24 wasn't an idea for me. I'd potentially looked at 28, but it's not something that I'm immediately focusing on. I think 24mm, it could work, it would work, but it's a lot of stress to put on the manufacturer, because it's really quite an intricate machining process. And I mean, I don't know if any of you have noticed this. If you take your Pandora off and have a look, there's that right through the serial number and through the name Pandora on it. There's actually a really, really fine line. And that's where it's machined to such a completely minimal tolerance. You can't even see it, barely. But that's actually push fit. And it's machined so well, and I'm so proud of the guys who manufactured it for getting it so well. You can barely see that there's even a line there. And that's push fit. So I don't want to put any additional stress on the manufacturers. And also I don't want them to try and bend over backwards to meet my criteria and possibly make the product substandard. So there wasn't any plans to make it any smaller, unfortunately.
But bigger could be an option.
Bigger may be an option, but I mean, I don't know. I've kind of want to focus on the Pandora for now. I mean, a lot of people, they make a product and then they release a V2 2 days later. And for me, that wasn't an option. I don't want to go around changing the design because I've got faith in this design. So, yeah, if anything, if there's any improvements I do stumble across or someone suggests to me, then I'll look into it. By all means, there's no avenue that I'm not going to explore. But
Paula's gone further from that comment and said, can I ask why you didn't make the deck 1 millimeter smaller and make a 24 and a 25 top cap option like they did with the Slam'em?
I don't know, to be honest.
Because one thing I will say, Chris, is in the majority of the meat of this top cap, it's very, very thick. So,
yeah,
were the design a little bit different, that would be a really easy, it'd be elementary to just make the material thinner, and therefore you get to 24 instead of 25.
Elementary.
But obviously, this cap is very specifically shaped on the inside to fit this very specifically designed dual deck sort of system that you've got. So is it a case of it can't be done, or is it a case of it will involve a pretty drastic redesign? Or
I mean, it was more the fact that I suppose that when we designed it, we wanted it to be 25 mil. I don't know. I mean, it possibly could be done, but it's not an avenue that we've looked into. And I mean, I can always look. I mean, I did look at making a top cap thinner, but because I wanted the engraving to be done as is, it needed to have a certain amount of beef to it in order for that amount of material to cut out, even out of to be able to come out. So, I mean, I don't know. It's something I might potentially look into. I mean, where the top cap actually covers the airflow, it's also goes down right to the bottom as well. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether I can work out an option where I can bring it in a bit, but I mean, I think it'll take away from the finesse of the look. If I cut out a bit of the bottom so I could bring the top in a little bit more, it may. I don't know. It may ruin it. It may not. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. But
it's one of those things, isn't it? You're going to need feedback over time to tell you whether a lot of people actually want a 24, and then if a lot of people want a 24, you can start to do the research and see if it's viable.
Yeah, it's very new. It's very new to me as well. I've never been a product designer. I've never been, a product manufacturer. It's not my sort of thing.
And I'll say this, Chris.
Do you know what? Adam Sisson as well says, and he's got a point here. The thickness is key.
Yeah,
and I think the thickness of the metal in the design here is key to the feel of it, the weight of it. That makes it, for me anyway, a more desirable piece.
And I'll say this, Chris. I've got designs on paper, not in 3D, but on paper, for mech mods, for RDAs, things that I've thought of over the years that I would like to eventually put to market. And that is my 10-year plan, is to become a manufacturer myself.
Yeah.
But nothing nearly as complicated and technically demanding as what you've done with your first ever attempt. And it is a point that has to have a heavy line drawn under it. This is your first go at making something, and it's really fucking complicated from a design perspective.
Yeah, and I mean, I can only tip my hat to people that have gone out and done this multiple times. People that have released 4, 5, or 6 different products, because to design a product, you put a whole lot of you into that product. And I think you find things that you want to do and things that you want to combat, and things you want to change in existing vaping, and you sort of make it your own. And to invest your whole self into one product and again and again is insane. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into making a product. And I mean, people that go and do it day in, day out, and don't recycle the same old shit. That's quite important for me. Like Paul Harrison, when he releases stuff, it changes, it evolves, it gets better. He's not doing the same thing with a different coating on it. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I don't want to mention anyone in particular, but there's big names in vaping that release the same product with a different coating and charge stupid amounts of money. And it's like, it's the same product. It's crazy. I mean, it's overwhelming for me. I'm overwhelmed by the feedback I've got from people, like the response to it. but also the fact that I'm proud of it, you know.
Yeah, I think that comes across, Chris. You know, your passion towards making the problems right, and the fact that you've tried to take a very level approach to it. I do think it comes across, mate. We're all behind you, mate. We're all fucking very impressed with what you've done. And at the end of the day, as people have quite rightly said, it's not going to be for everyone, but for those that it is for, those people are loving it. You know, and the people that it's not for, they bought a product that didn't work out to be to their preference. That happens in life. And whilst they might be a bit miffed at the moment, they'll flog it on the secondary market and lose a couple of quid on it. You know, it's only an RDA. They won't lose a fortune on it. And they'll move on with their lives, and they'll vape something else that they do prefer. So it's fine on both fronts.
And I mean, I think for me as well, I for those of you that know me, I buy a lot of stuff. And whether it's vaping or anything else, I just buy a lot of stuff. And I mean, a lot of vaping.
Adam's sitting in chats just asking where can he get hold of one of these, just so everyone can catch up again. Where can everyone get hold of them, Chris?
They're currently available at vapesk.co.uk. For those in the States, they will be live. They're either live now or they will be live shortly from pjvapes.com. There'll be other places.
I guess that'll do.
Sorry?
He's in Canada, but I guess that'll do.
Yeah, it will do. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I buy a lot of stuff, and I've got hundreds of RDAs sitting on a shelf that I don't use anymore. You know, and it's just a byproduct of the hobby that we have. You know, you buy stuff, it's amazing. You get bored of it and you move on. That's how it goes. And it's just unfortunate that some people might buy it, not like it, get bored of it, and move on straight away. And that's just how it is, I suppose.
Well,
apparently PJ Bro sold most of them at Vape Showcase this weekend.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
so good getting one overseas.
I was blown away by the feedback I've had from the Atlanta showcase. Absolutely blown away by it, and it's so humbling. And I think, you know, look, for those of you who do know me, I'm a bit of a cocky twat a lot of the time.
A lot of the time, yeah.
And for me, it's completely changed. Like I can't thank people enough, and it's completely overwhelming. The feedback has just been amazing, and I'm just so glad that people are enjoying it, really.
Just looking at the support you're getting in chat tonight, Chris, you know, I'm going to tip my hat to you. You know, as much as I'd want to see you fuck up, you know, you've designed and developed and manufactured an awesome product.
Yeah.
I think I'm echoing a lot of what the guys are saying in the chat tonight, that, you know, well done, and we hope you do really fucking well.
No, I really appreciate it. And I mean, thank you guys for, I mean, you know, I know you got free Pandora out of it, but you didn't have to have me on here. You haven't had to show the respect and the support that you guys have. And, you know, I really appreciate it. I mean, even, you know, like for Tom, he works for Endless. And I mean, he's got no obligations.
No, I mean, you
know, and I appreciate it. I really do.
You deserve it, Chris, though. You know, it's not every day that somebody comes to the UK market, UK design, UK, well, China build, but UK design. It's not every day that an atomizer comes to the market this good.
Well,
so I think it's to be celebrated. So, again, yeah, I'll echo Mark's congratulations. You've done a brilliant job, mate.
I'll say something, Chris. As you know, I do work for Endless Mods. I do work for Paul Harrison, and obviously the products come on the market. It's a UK design, another UK design product. And at the end of the day, for me personally, and this is me speaking out for me, UK brands need to stick together as a brand. Don't need to be in each other's pockets. Don't need to be slandering each other. We all made great products. You can see I've got the Slammer on me. It's a great product. I've got the Pandora. It's a great product. Let's carry on as a community and get the fucking word out for UK design products, and just fucking let's just conquer it. Because at the end of the day, the UK players are now the big players. So let's do what we can as a UK community, and let's get great product out there. And if it becomes Endless and Pandora or whatever coming together as a whatever, or UK brands getting together, that's what the industry needs. Yeah, you know what I mean? We need the UK industry to get together and make the best brands we can.
Here.
I completely agree. And I mean, with the American market being the way it is, and a lot of it can be a dick swinging contest, like who's got bigger and who's got better. I think it's been amazing to be able to speak to people like Paul who have the experience of taking a product from design to market, and he's open and honest, and that is a thing that you wouldn't expect, and I can only thank him for that. And I think it's important for us all to stick behind each other, because at the end of the day, we're a small fish in a big pond, and we've got the potential to make that impact, and I think we should. I mean, there's no reason why we can't take this shit over.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to start thinking about wrapping up, because it is nearly 9:30 and people are going to want to come in hangouts and chat to you more privately, Chris. So before Dolan talks us out, can I just, Dolan, do you mind if I just spend a couple of seconds to talk about next week?
Knock yourself out.
So the plan is, guys, you might have seen them floating around in chat tonight. They've been pretty active in chat. We're hoping for Matt and Dan from Frostbox to be able to make it on next week. Frostbox have got a fucking hell of a lot going on in 2017, an absolute mountain of movements forward, and we want to try and give them a similar opportunity to what we've given Chris, to sort of air it to the UK community, put it around a little bit. So all being well, providing that they can make the necessary arrangements between them, we're going to have either one or both of them on the show with us next week. So come back for more of this.
Absolutely. We like to support the UK. We like our American stuff. We like our Canadian stuff. We like stuff that's good. But, to support our own, to support UK, is admirable. Chris, you've done an awesome job. We're coming up to 9:30. I think it's time for us to say goodbye. It's been an awesome show this week. We look forward to seeing you next week. And tatty bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Interview on TGV